Okay. So my name's Hannah. I work with the Plus program, and some of you will be members of the Plus program and some of you won't be. The session today is we've got the fantastic Alex from the Career Centre is going to be delivering a workshop for us about how to improve LinkedIn skills. Then there's going to be a little bit of time for you to edit your profiles independently, along with the chance to ask any questions to Alex and the members of the careers team who are here, which is Aaliyah and Lawrence. And then we will break out into breakout rooms, and you'll be able to give some peer feedback to the other members of your breakout room. In your breakout rooms, if you are able to, and it's obviously not always possible, it would be really fantastic if you could turn on your cameras. It's just a way to build your skills in giving feedback, especially since we're going to be doing it more and more over video. And then, yep, there'll be a final chance to do some more follow-up questions. So just as a note, if you are a member of the Plus program, you hopefully will know that because you'll receive Plus program newsletters to your inbox once every week on a Monday. What we're doing for Plus program students, we just want to really emphasize that we've got an opportunity available for you to send over profiles of yourself and to promote yourself on our LinkedIn page, which I'll link in the chat in a second. So if that is something you're interested in, where you would like to do a bit of self-promotion on LinkedIn, but not on your own personal LinkedIn, we'd really love to hear from you, and we will be sending out more information about that in the newsletter next week. So I think we maybe will just wait one more minute, and then if you're all right to start, Alex, that would be fantastic.
That's fine. Don't worry. I'll give it a couple more. Yeah. Start in a second.
Thank you.
I don't know whether it's worth everyone, if you have the opportunity to say open a new tab and get logged into your LinkedIn for later, maybe that could be something you do in this first minute. There's no pressure if you don't, if you're on a mobile device or something like that and you can't, don't worry, we can sort that out after, but it might be useful just to get yourself logged in while we're waiting for a couple more people to join. I can give a brief introduction as well as who I am. As Hannah said, I am a member of the careers team. I am one of four employability and progression assistants at the Career Service. So we work with finding participation students and also help with lots of different events and things that are going on in careers. So today I'm going to take you through a very quick whistle-stop tour of LinkedIn. There's lots of information, so don't worry if you don't kind of take it in the next 20 minutes. What we can do is send out the slides afterwards, so then you've got them to read over after if you are wanting to develop your profile a bit more. But yeah, I think if everyone is happy for me to start, then I'll start with it. Okay, so firstly, is it working? Can you see this? So the aims of today are going to go profile basics. Actually, what I'm going to say is, am I okay to turn my camera off just because of connection? I'm just lagging, so I just wanted to introduce myself. So hello everyone, I'm Alex. I'm going to turn my camera off now, but I'll put it back on for the Q&A. So today I'm going to go over profile basics, connecting on LinkedIn, and also understanding the benefits to networking on LinkedIn. Afterwards in the Q&A, I can get a live screen up of my LinkedIn profile. However, I've just got some screenshots as examples in the slides, just because going back and forth with the time we've got, just thought it'd be easier to demonstrate through the screenshots what I was talking about. Okay, so starting off with the all-star feature of LinkedIn. This part of your profile is basically a checklist. So if you have created your profile, but you've not really done anything with it, so you might not be an all-star yet. But the aim to towards a complete profile is to become an all-star, and this it ticks off the profile basics that we'll go into soon. So things like experience, education, volunteering, the certificate section, your skills, endorsements, things like that. It becomes a checklist. So whether you've already got a profile, whether you're not and you're starting today, that's completely fine. What it does do is it just provides that bit of guidance to where you might need to improve your profile further. So first of all, we're going to talk about photo and headline. So your photo is a great chance to show the employer who you are. You want to be professional looking, but you want to be smiling, you want to look friendly. Your profile gets up to 14 times more views than without a picture. So if you've got a picture, you are more than likely going to have more people searching and looking up on your profile, because it shows you're active on LinkedIn and it shows that you are wanting to basically be on LinkedIn. The headline is something that's also important. It's basically a brief overview of your interest and experience. So I'll give some examples in a second, but just linking with personalization of your LinkedIn, it's really important that your LinkedIn profile is personalized. So with a picture, cover photo. So for example, if you're ever to connect with me, mine's at the university, and that's because I work there. So it could be something to do with the field you're wanting to work in a sector, something you're currently doing at the moment, whether there's any society involvement. Sometimes if you've got an event that you're wanting to promote through that, sometimes you can basically personalize your pictures to however you want someone to be looking at your profile, what you want to gain from that. So example headlines. There are lots and lots of University of Leeds students who want to be something more than a University of Leeds student. This, for example, you could include your year that you're in, the course you study, also maybe if there's anything that you're looking for work-wise, whether that's a graduate role or a placement. To do this, you want to make sure you're including some keywords, so the right people are looking at your profile. Also, what you want to do is either write a sentence. You've got 120 characters. So you want to either write a sentence that is precise, to the point, including those keywords, or you could do like the second example, break it up with some lines, including just flash words that you think employers or organizations or people who you want to visit your profile will be searching. Okay, so leading on next, summary. The summary is basically a brief overview of you, talking about your skills, your experiences, and your professional interests. You want to make sure that these are either bullet points or short paragraphs, because if you put all the information into one big paragraph, it's more than likely that, say, if we're talking about an employer or someone looking at, whoever is looking on your profile, they're not going to want to read that. They want it to be to the point. So you've got the first 240 characters that are visible without anyone having to click on the see more. So you really need to make sure those key attributes that you want to portray are at the top in the first couple of sentences. So when they read on to more, that they're left wanting to know more about you. Okay, so the next section is quite a new bit to LinkedIn. It's the featured section. So this appears just under the about section at the top of your profile. And here you're able to add any work that you might be involved with online, such as blogs you've written or contributed to, if you've got your own personal blog, any videos, any YouTube videos that you might have been involved with, any creative projects, things like that. What you can do on this section is you can tailor them, so what you want the person who's viewing your profile to see first. So for example, this is some of mine, the Leeds project that we've worked closely with, myself and Lawrence. Also with the featured section, you can add posts that you've created on LinkedIn. So the second one was an event I attended. I've attached that to my featured section to show people kind of the conference that I not only attended but spoke at. So if there are any events that you think are relevant to maybe a certain job sector or field that you think would be important for an employee to see, you could, and you've mentioned that in a post already, and it's gained great engagement, you can add that to the featured section. And you can edit this, like I said, using that pencil tool just at the top, and you can drag which ones you want to see first and prioritize. Okay, so then we're going to go on to activity. Activity, again, is about the posts pretty much. I think a lot of, from a student angle and maybe graduate, it is to do more with the posts than the articles and documents. But when somebody enters your profile, it's accessible for them to see all of your activity, things you're engaging with, things you're commenting on, things you're liking, what you're sharing, and also the posts that you're creating too. So, for example, the top post for me, the one I commented on here, saying congratulations. This was actually one of my connections on LinkedIn. This was a post that came up on the middle of my homepage, and I commented on it because I found that the post was really interesting, and from there connected with her. Whereas I connected with a course mate, commented when they had a really great achievement and congratulated them. So there's lots of different ways your activity is shown on LinkedIn, whether that's, like I said, to do with what you share or what you commenting on and engage with. And an employer can see that. So activity can be quite important, especially if you're wanting to work for a certain company or in a certain sector. They can see what you're engaging with from there. Okay, so next is experience. Now, looking at experience, you want to think broadly about it. You know, you can include your part-time work, any work experience that you're currently involved in, things such as if you're in a society, maybe if you've got a particular role within that society, any volunteering or positions of responsibility. So in this section, I include my current role that I'm involved in as an EPA. I also talk about my part-time work experience during university, and also during sixth form, anything like that. I think sometimes you may think, oh, it's not important, but I don't want to go into that. How is a waitress, or how is someone working in retail? How are these smaller jobs relevant? They all are relevant because you've gained transferable skills. So you want to list at least a minimum of 2 positions with a brief description of each, and highlight the key skills you developed. And what's really useful to include is breaking it up into bullet points. You don't really want these big paragraphs. People want to be able to pick out key information. Why would you be good for that role based on this? Okay, so you want to maybe search key action verbs to start off sentences, things like managing, producing, participating in it. All these kind of things, you can Google them and get some help there. But you want to show how you're proactive within your experience. So you have 100 characters for the title. So really, you know, you're able to put more information. You can mirror the job title with the headline. Also, you've got 2,000 characters for your description. And in this, you can add media, and you can add any involvement, say blog posts. Like I've been involved with blog posts this year. I've got a blog post attached to mine. Make sure you're writing in first person. And you want to make sure, like I said, with the bullet points, that your profile is easy to read. Next, going to look at education. So you want to make sure you include your university and also your A-levels are equivalent at least. I've included introductory fieldwork and placement modules. So I've about 6 of those things that are relevant to the career I want to go in. I've always been interested in working with people, the social setting, also education. So I chose modules that were relevant to things that I wanted to go into in the future. You can also include any activities and societies that you're involved with, or if there's a particular project or module you're proud of and you want to emphasize there, make sure you get that in. You can include your grades as well. So if there's a particular grade you're really happy with and you want to share and you think would benefit you, you can include that there. Also, you can list any awards or prizes. Then next is skills and endorsements and recommendations. So you want to list at least 5 skills on your profile, and then the top 3 will be shown. So recommendations are kind of more highly regarded, but if at this point you don't have any recommendations, that's fine. What you could do is, if you've got an employee, you could get in contact with your boss maybe, and if they've got LinkedIn, see if they could potentially give you a recommendation. Also, apologies, someone just knocked at the door. Also, what you could do with that is then go on to make sure that you have the top 3 skills that you want to show to the employer. Sorry, I think I muted myself there. With that, you want to
ensure.
Did
you want to get the door, Alex?
No, if that's okay. Thank you.
Yeah, that's no problem. We'll just have a pause. I know, because Alex said that she thought there might be something coming in the post literally right now, so this is what we all struggle with, isn't it?
Sorry about that. Thank you so much. Right. Okay, so carrying on. Sorry, I'll go on to the next slide with endorsements and recommendations. So with this, you want only your top 3 will be featured, so you want to make sure that these are skills that really promote what you're good at. If you are unsure about a certain career or job route or anything like that, maybe think about the transferable skills you've gained, the ones that you've really worked on at university or in any current roles. They can help to give a great overall impression. Similarly, with your recommendations, like I said, they're valued more highly and aim for a minimum of 2 on your profile. But currently, I don't have any recommendations, but I think over time you're able to build some confidence, ask maybe employers or anyone you've worked with if they were able to give you a recommendation. Okay, next is going on to licensing certificates. I thought here will be a great opportunity to mention LinkedIn Learning. If no one's heard of it, LinkedIn Learning, you have access to now as students and graduates. There are a certain amount for graduates, but I will post in the chat a link to a blog post about LinkedIn Learning, but it's a great way to gain an online course, some skills you maybe don't have direct experience of or you want to develop further. And as it's a free resource from the university, I would definitely make sure that you check out LinkedIn Learning. During the Q&A session after, we can go through anything, or we can have a look when you're in the breakout rooms if you're unsure of anything. But with this, once you have completed your course, it ends up on your LinkedIn profile. So again, you've gone out of your way to complete a course and an employer log onto your profile and see what you've been up to. And this is similar for any courses or online courses you've completed that aren't necessarily LinkedIn Learning. I've got a few that are on my profile as well, which I can show to you after. Accomplishments, again, it's not as a necessity, but say if you speak a couple of languages or anything like that, it might be worth putting that on your profile. Any test scores that you're particularly proud of. And then one thing I thought was worth mentioning was editing your URL. So I've shortened mine because there are a lot of Alexandra Nobles out there. I couldn't just have Alexandra Noble. I chose just 2019, the year I made my profile. You want to make sure your profile is on public so people can find you. But yeah, again, once we're in the breakout rooms, I can show you how to do that in more depth. Okay, so connecting on LinkedIn. So basically, when you're connecting with people on LinkedIn, you want to personalize your message request. You don't want to be just connecting people that you don't know necessarily without a personalized message. If it's family and friends, course friends, anyone from university, lecturers, things like that, if you want to connect with those people first to start building your network, definitely I would encourage that. But sending without a message sometimes to someone who doesn't know you, they might ignore that request. I'll go on to talk about how you can do that. So with LinkedIn, there's different degrees. So your first degree is someone you're connected with. For example, I'm connected with Hannah on LinkedIn. So we have that first degree connection. The second degree is where you share at least one connection. So it's almost like a mutual friend. The third is one where it's a bit wishy-washy. You're connected to someone who's connected to someone who is then connected to that person. So it's kind of forming a chain, and that's sometimes how you see the post on the homepage. Groups are also a great way to gain sector information, join and basically build up your profile and connections as well. But again, you can go and search for those yourself. So connecting on LinkedIn, you can search by the name or under the My Network tab at the top next to the homepage. And like I said, when you're inviting people to connect, it's always the best thing to do is personalize a message. And that can only be done on the desktop version of LinkedIn, not the app. So that's something that's worth noting. Don't simply just send the standard connection. You want to personalize it. And there's some examples of how to connect in a second. You want to make sure you keep it professional. Be careful of kind of the message you're wanting to promote and come across. Make sure your spelling and grammar, any language and tone, again, is all professional. You want to consider, do you want on your LinkedIn profile a super selective network, or are you happy to have anyone on there? So these are some examples of connection requests. So you could, for example, start with if you attended an event or a lecture, or there was a guest speaker and this person you're connecting with, you found them really interesting, there was something you benefited from, you want to talk to them about that, you can send them a message. For example, I attended your presentation at the University of Leeds last Thursday and really enjoyed the opportunity to speak with you afterwards. Would it be okay to connect? The same kind of thing with, I hope you don't mind my direct approach, but I see that you also attended this university event, and blah, 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 things like that. You want to basically just show them why you want to connect with them, not just send a blank request, because they might ignore that and not realise who you are. So the alumni search is another really key tool to LinkedIn, especially for students and graduates. So this can help you to identify useful contacts, build your network, and also if you are unsure about what career you want to maybe do, you can have a search for people who studied your course in the past. Where have they gone on to? What kind of things have they, job-wise, are they doing now? So you can use the search bar for keywords and also identify potential employers. So this is what it looks like. If you type in the University of Leeds and click on the school page, then click onto the alumni tool, which is highlighted. You can then go on to search whatever you want, basically. That could be a course, an organisation you want to work for, a sector, a job title, anything really. You can explore then what other graduates of your discipline have done. It shows kind of numbers and things like that, of where are they now, what are they doing. So this is a great way as well for potential employers to find you. You can, and you to find potential employers essentially. You can company search by their location or industry and have a look at what other people's profiles, where did they work, how did they get to that job that you want to be doing now. And you can also find similar companies that you might not realise existed or were the same in the same field. So this again is a example of a company page. So you want to make sure that you are researching the company, follow these companies that you want to work for, these employers, because and like I said before, with your activity, you want to be commenting, engaging with them, making sure that they know you want to work for them. Even if you're applying for quite a few different roles, follow, engage with them, because at the end of the day, like, they want to know you, that you're not only applying for them just for a grad scheme, you want to work for them and be a part of their team. However, if you're not wanting kind of a big corporate job and you want to work in a smaller field, and they will have LinkedIn pages as well. And I think sometimes with the smaller ones, you're able to connect with them and have a kind of even a more engaging conversation. So just going to move on because I'm conscious of time, just to LinkedIn groups really quickly. These can help you network with people in your target industry. You're able to ask any questions you've got and comment on any discussion posts. It also raises your profile, more clicks, more views, things like that. So you can see there are any opportunities there. You can stay up to date with the industry trends. I think, again, commercial awareness and researching a company is really, really useful and beneficial, especially when it comes to applications and interviews. So social media, even things like Twitter, making sure you're keeping up to date will really benefit you, and LinkedIn's a great place to start with that. Also, you can find out about job opportunities there. And so, like Hannah mentioned, Plus Programme, any students who are part of the Plus Programme, make sure you follow them on LinkedIn. Hannah's put the LinkedIn link there for you to go and follow. It is a bit like a group, but it's more of a follow page, and you'll be able to see some great exclusive opportunities that the university provide. Okay, I think I'm done. I apologise for the door knocking. If anyone has any questions, the next kind of 5-10 minutes we can talk about those. Yes, you will get the slides later on. Yes, sorry, I know I powered through that very quickly, but if anyone has any questions, please feel free to put them in the chat now, and we can go over anything. I can open my LinkedIn, show you kind of the live version, what it looks like, and we can have a discussion. Okay, so we've got, what would be the best way to seek out a placement on LinkedIn? Okay, so with placements and things like that, there is a job search function. So what I could do is share my screen. Let's see if this will work. I'm going to share LinkedIn. Can everyone see my LinkedIn page, the home page? Just gonna, could you
Yes,
say yes?
thank
Only,
you.
really great. Okay, so if there are any questions, Hannah, if you could, like, after, only because my screen's gone a bit funny, but here you can search jobs and things like that. You can, if there's any companies you want to work for, any placement opportunities, you can have a search on here. If not, if there are any companies that maybe you are thinking of or any industries, join these groups, connect, see if there are people that would like to know more as well, like you, or if they've, sometimes it might be on companies or organisation pages, they might have jobs advertised on there too. If not, my career, this is kind of diving from LinkedIn. My career, there are lots of opportunities and exclusive vacancies, and leads internship program, things like that. Make sure you check out my career for those things. It's really useful way to find placements and things like that.
Definitely, thank you. So the next question I can see is somebody asking whether it would be appropriate for their personal tutor or academic tutor to be a recommender for them.
Okay, so I think with this, so if I go on to my profile, I think it's worth having a conversation with them if they've got LinkedIn. I think it's worth definitely opening the conversation, asking them, especially if there's a piece of work you've done that you're particularly proud of. So this is where it would be in your recommendation section. Will be down here. So I think definitely if you want to ask your tutors and have a conversation with them, I think it's worth it, definitely, yeah. I've got a fan. How do you know how many of your past part-time jobs to put? So this is personal preference. You want to put at least, I'd say 2. I've got kind of all of mine. Again, it's kind of, you can add as many as you want. If you are wanting to go into, say, a particular field or sector or job, and you're wanting just your direct relevant experience on there, that you might have done an internship, or you might have done a placement, or you might have done a bit of work experience here and there. You just wanting that, you can do it that way, or you can think about the transferable skills from that particular role, your part-time role, that maybe it's not directly in that field. It might be a hospitality position or a retail position, something like that. You want to make sure, like I said before, if I scroll up on here, I don't know if I'm going to see, like, it's about the skills you've gained from this role that then can be applied in the future to other. But yeah, it's down to personal preference, really. Yes, okay, so about LinkedIn Learning, if I try and, let's see, with LinkedIn Learning, I'll stop sharing this and I'll share the LinkedIn Learning screen. So hopefully you'll be able to see this. So LinkedIn Learning should be loading up now. Is it working?
Can't see it quite yet, but
Let's share that again. Is it working now? There we go. Okay, so this is what it looks like. The blog post that I sent, if you scroll down to the bottom, it shows you kind of sign up, how to access LinkedIn Learning. If you don't have a LinkedIn account at this moment, that's fine. You can access it through Minerva. And there's a post by IT when it says, so sign me up, how to access LinkedIn Learning. There's a link there to run you through all that. Sorry, I'm conscious of time. But in that blog post is kind of the benefits of LinkedIn, what you gain from it. So when you've completed a course and you have a LinkedIn account, what you do is it'll connect to your LinkedIn account through the sign in. So as you can see, my profile's there in the top corner, and it'll automatically, once you've completed that, appear on your LinkedIn profile in the certificates and license section. Hope that helps. Is it more beneficial to use the apply with LinkedIn? Yeah. Is it more beneficial to use the apply with LinkedIn function on job vacancies or traditionally? So I think CV and cover letter is probably the best way. Applying through LinkedIn, you could always mention that you found the role through LinkedIn. You know, it shows that you've been researching the company potentially, things like that. So you've shown your interest that way, and you've kind of gone out of the box. But I would say a CV and cover letter, if that's what they're asking for, applying for the job, I would probably go with that. However, when you click on apply with LinkedIn, I think it would. I'm not too sure because I've never applied actually to LinkedIn, to a job, sorry, through LinkedIn. I would assume it would take you maybe to the company page, and then they might give you instructions where you go from there. It might highlight to them that you have clicked on the link through LinkedIn. But I'd double check with that. You could, if they've got details or any contact details, maybe get in touch with them again. Add them on LinkedIn, send a message. I'm interested in this role. I was wondering which way was best to apply to that position. I hope that covers your question. Okay,
Hannah. Lovely, thank you. Sorry, my screen's just frozen. So for now then, what we're going to do is we're going to break out into breakout rooms, if that's all right, Alex. Yeah. We will be what the aim of this is to share your LinkedIn profile with the other students in your breakout group, and then to allow you to give each other peer feedback. So what I would do, I'm not sure if you're going to be able to share your screens once you're in your breakout rooms. So if in your breakout room chat you share a link to your LinkedIn profile and then you go around as a group, there's about 4 or 5 people in each group, and give positive feedback, and then one thing for improvement. And then also, if you can try and make sure you connect with people in your group, just building those connections could be really useful. I'm not sure if you can hear me anymore because I've got a thing saying I haven't got any connection. But I will send you actually the breakout rooms, and we will move around between the different groups to give you any like personalized feedback, and then we'll bring you back in about 15 minutes. All right, thanks. Has anybody been sent to a breakout room?
I have not.
Not yet.
No. I don't know quite why, I'm afraid. If that's not the case, then what we can do is we can work in the main room. Because the numbers have gone down quite a bit now, hopefully you may be able to share your LinkedIn profile in the chat function so that we can look at each other's there and connect with the people that are also in the session.
Yeah, anyone feel free to connect with me. I think a couple of you have, which is great.
Which is fantastic. Absolutely. Apologise for the delay here. I've just lost the screen altogether, so I can't see you at all.
Oh no! Yeah, so if anyone has any questions, I mean, if you want to raise your hand and put your mic on, if that's easier, or if you just want to put it in the chat, if there is something that you want to go over in more detail, feel free. We've got a bit of time, like I say, and then if anyone particularly likes something on someone's profile they could share with, or anything like that, really. I'll add my profile.
Hi, sorry, I was going to ask a question if that's all right.
Yeah, of course it is. Ask away.
Yeah, so in LinkedIn, I'm not quite sure what it's called. You have the essentially the line underneath your name where you're basically saying kind of what you are.
Headline.
Currently, it's just what I'm currently doing, but I want to try and add some sort of line like looking to move into X roles, because currently I'm just applying for a load of different things, such as
Yeah. Right, so what I'll do is do you want me to put the example headlines up for you?
That'd be helpful, yeah.
Brill. Yeah, so with that, sometimes if you are seeking a certain position, it's about maybe if there are some key elements of that role that you want to include as well, maybe something that you've developed during university, or in a certain module that's particularly relevant to a career that you're interested in.
Okay, so would you say something like looking to build upon X skill and apply it in a more real world setting, something like that kind of thing?
Yeah, I think that would be a great place to start.
It's probably a bit verbose, but yeah. Okay, thanks.
No worries. Hannah's joined. I think we may have lost her for a bit of it. And thank you for all connecting so far. I'm getting through them. My laptops are slightly slow. Thank you for the chats, guys. Hi, Hannah.
Hi there. Yes, I may be able to send people into breakout rooms if that's something we'd still like to do, but I don't want to enforce it on people.
Whatever you guys think could work. If you're happy with kind of just what's going on now, or we could have I don't know, 5 more minutes doing this and then or
I think that's a good idea. So we just
And
do the
join a breakout
connection.
room if anyone, can offer
If
any
anyone wants to do
tips.
some more personalised
Mhm.
feedback. It's a bit of a nightmare, isn't it? Losing connection like that.
Technology. It wouldn't be a session without someone dipping in and out or a knock on the door.
Absolutely. So Alex, I know you mentioned changing your URL, and certainly I think it's quite clear I haven't been able to do that. How do you do that?
Real. So what I'll do is now I'll share my screen, and then if anyone's wanting to, I've got quite a few little messages popping up. Let me get back on. I will demonstrate. So I think that's a great way as well to get rid of it, because it generates a lot of letters and numbers, especially if you've got a common name, or even if not, it just adds a load of rubbish that you don't need at the end of it. So let me share my screen. And let's go on to. So what you want to do is you want to click on your profile. Is it showing? Are we all on my? No, doing that thing again. Oh, there we go. Okay, so here at the top, just under the notifications and your work, LinkedIn Learning, is edit profile and URL.
Mm-hmm.
Then this page should be visible to you. And here at the top where it says edit your custom URL is where you want to change essentially the end bit. So it'll be www.linkedin.com/in/, and then you may have a generated thing there. Click the pencil tool, and what it'll do is you can change this to whatever you want. So like I said, mine was my name and then just a year I created, but again, I could change that again if I wanted to get rid of the date and maybe, I don't know, add the initial of my middle name, or there's just anything, maybe just a number, a smaller number, anything that you want to do, really easy. And then with that, save it. And you want to make sure that your profile is on here. What you can then do with the URL is, say if you have a CV, in the contact part of your CVs where you've got your name, your address, your your contact details, you can also add your LinkedIn profile. So you can copy and paste this URL. And in your CV, what you want to do is type in, I don't know, I could put LinkedIn profile or Alexander Noble LinkedIn profile, highlight that, hyperlink it, and then you can add your LinkedIn profile to your CV. So anything that in your CV you might not have been able to include, you can have it on your LinkedIn profile. So when say, for example, the question before about how many part-time jobs should I put on to my LinkedIn, as many as you all, well, a minimum of 2, but as many as you want essentially. But what you could do with your LinkedIn profile is, if you've got roles on there, different positions from whenever, you couldn't fit them on your CV, they're on your LinkedIn profile then, and from your CV, that employer knows that you've got LinkedIn. A lot of employers will search naturally anyway to see if you're on LinkedIn, but to say that you've got it there to hand, if it's an internet, even if it's a PDF format, they know you've got LinkedIn, so they'll be able to search your name and they'll be able to find you from there as well. But if it is, they can click on it through that hyperlink, even better for them. Hope that made sense.
That's perfect, thank you.
Great.
I would say I've been doing quite a lot of LinkedIn learning courses over lockdown. And I think it's a really fantastic way, because when it adds, when you add your certificate to your profile, it also adds any key skills you learned, so you don't have to come up with them on your own, which might be a bit tricky sometimes.
Yeah, definitely. I think that's worth mentioning. Let's see is it this one I'm showing? Yeah, so here. And what they can do then is click on. So if you found as well a course that you think, oh, that sounds interesting, that someone else has done, with the access to LinkedIn Learning, click on that and you can start it as well, and you can complete it. You can see the overview. Is it showing currently, or is it loaded? And you see LinkedIn Learning, or is it my profile? Or I've done the Chrome tab. Let me reshare to the LinkedIn Learning.
Thank you. Shayna, it depends on which course you take. It can be, you can do one that's maybe 20 minutes, but you can do one that's like 3 hours. What I do like is that they offer a chance for you to speed it up if it's moving a bit slowly, or if the presenter talks quite slowly. So you can watch it at like 1.5 speed.
Yeah. And they have the transcripts as well. You can see here, so I'm hoping that the course is open. So I've just clicked on this from my profile, from one of the certificates that I got. But here you can see what the learning objectives are, the overview of the content, some of the key skills that are involved. So if you're thinking there's a particular skill that you want to search, have a look at what other courses did they do, type it in here. And then you can find, should be loading, any Q&As or any questions you might have, you could ask, or see if someone's already asked a question. This is the contents on the left hand side of what will be covered. Like Hannah said, some are smaller courses, shorter courses than others. And then here, Malin, you can create collections if there's certain things. The university as well, so the class of 2020 page, I'll get that up in a second, have curated some collections which could be useful for everyone to get involved. Just a starting point if you're unsure of what to do or where to build some skills. So it's a starting point for you, which I can share in the chat as well. I'll get up. But here, like I said, you can have saved ones, learning history. So these are the ones you completed, and these are the ones that have ended up on my profile on LinkedIn. And also you can put the skills you're interested in as well, can't you? So lots to be thinking about.
Yes, but also you don't have to put them on your profile. You can take them without them posting there as well if you prefer.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah. Just a great way if you don't have direct experience of a skill that you're applying for a job and you're thinking, how can I show that? I'd taken, like, if a course is an hour, it's and with everything going on, sometimes online courses are, you think, I've got university work, but if it's just, you've got that, then take an hour out of your day, focus on that course. And sometimes, you can talk about that then in an application or an interview, not only for that skill, but you've gone out of your way to, continue your learning and develop and prioritize certain skills. Get this class of 2020 page up in the resources section. So let me see. Post in the chat. Sorry, Hannah. So this is the 2020. So if there are any graduates on the call, it explains graduate access to LinkedIn Learning, and also that there are lots of curated collections for not only class of 2020. Don't be put off by class of 2020, but it's a starting point. You can have a look at different courses that you might be interested in.
Absolutely. It's just kind of good to build those skills now, regardless of like what academic year you're in.
Oh yeah, definitely. I will.
I think it's always really good if you can interact with other people on the platform. So if you see posts that you're enthusiastic about, literally like even reacting to them, but also making a comment and things like that, that does lead to further connections, which means that you're able to network a bit better.
Yes, definitely. I've done that. I've attended a webinar or an external conference. The person who put it on, I've commented on their post, and then from that I've gained connections because they attended the event. And you know, you might be from completely different backgrounds, you might be from a similar background, but it's just you never know in the future where that connection might take you. And the amount of people from LinkedIn over the past year, like I didn't have a LinkedIn profile during university, it wasn't very strong. I've developed mine over the past year, and the amount of people who I've connected with from so many different positions, from before starting this role to starting and developing in this role. There's lots of opportunities to connect with so many people.
Definitely.
Yeah, I don't know if anyone's got any more questions, or is there something?
Right, so there's a couple of questions I think in the chat, but I'm just not on it. 1 second.
Oh yeah.
So Sana asked what you think the like main things they should mention in their profile summary should be. And then we've got, has anyone here found a job through LinkedIn? I've certainly applied to jobs through LinkedIn and got to the stage of like interview, but I've not actually received the job. But like it still shows there it does lead somewhere.
Yeah, I read a post the other day. I think it was literally through a connection that they started a new job, and it was literally through connecting with someone. They were talking, and then this person was perfect for the role, and they then essentially got a job through them.
Yeah, absolutely. And in terms of the personal profile, that is something that's quite interesting because I feel like my one personally is quite weak. So do you have any ideas, Alex, on what?
Yeah, so I'm currently updating mine. Let me get the slide up with the example on it that I sorry, up to the slide. Let's go to the top. You basically want it to be a brief introduction, but kind of something, you know, it's a standalone statement. So about the skills that you've developed, your strong skills, any experience that you have. You know, the balance is understand. You know, you've got your experience section that you can talk about that, but is there a particular role or something that you've done that you can mention in your summary that would make you stand out? Any of your professional interests and things like that going forward. Trying to, that's the wrong one. So I think that sorry, that's quite small.
Sorry. Oh yes, absolutely. To the person that says, do you mind us connecting with you? That's absolutely fine. You're welcome to do that. It's really good for us to see what students are posting on LinkedIn.
Yeah, I think Lawrence and Aaliyah put that. I mean, I know we've got quite a few links in the channel, but Aaliyah is Aaliyah Career Service, and Lawrence has put his link as well. So, have you put yours in, Hannah? I think you have.
I have, yeah.
Yes, and mine's in there. I've got quite a few connections. If I've not accepted you yet, I apologise. It's just my it's really quite slow. So, but I've seen quite a few messages which I've replied to you all after. But thank you very much for connecting. Right.
Yeah, absolutely.
I think as well with the summary, like I said, it's to make sure the first kind of couple of sentences just really like displaying your skills and who you are. Kind of, if you are a third year student, like what what kind of student are you? You know, how do you want someone, think about how you want someone to read your information about you. How do you want to kind of present yourself? Is there any kind of, have you got any ambition, certain ambitions, certain goals that you want to achieve in a career, like, and how maybe would you do that, and through the skills you've gained, through the skills you've got, through any experiences, and just again, like I said, the professional interests I think are quite key. So for me, I'm interested in higher education, and after this role, staying within higher education. I like the student-facing part of my role as well. So I think it's drawing on all the key attributes that you have, and the skills you're able to demonstrate, and putting them in that about section. Not necessarily like dwelling on I've done this, and this, because your experience section will show that. Maybe drawing upon one example or something like that, like more of a recent thing.
Oh, that's interesting. Yeah.
Wanted to. College. Is this me, Alex, or we went to the same college, or another Alex? I'll double check.
I think it's probably you.
Ah,
Oh, how
brilliant.
exciting.
I know, Ashton. Oh, lovely.
Right. Well, I think then what we'll probably do is round up, just in case any of you have got classes at 2. Unless there's any final questions, in which case you're welcome to pop them in the comments section. Just thank you so much, Alex. That was really fantastic, and I'm sorry that we had to change ad hoc, like, last minute.
I apologise for the knock on the door as well. I'm really sorry.
But it was really fantastic for you to join us. Thank you so much, everyone.
everyone.
And we will be sending around a feedback form, which we'd really appreciate it if you do respond to. That'll help us to make it better in the future. Brilliant. Thank you.
Thanks, everyone.